What's going on, guys? And this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, one of them anyway. I'm Tom, as many of you already know, and this is one of the 3 previews of my game, Behind Closed Doors. So many of you have been asking, when will the game be done, when can I see it, and more importantly, when can I play it? All great questions. Can't give you answers for them yet, but I can give you one sneak preview, and there will be another one coming. So I'm going to warn you guys right now, this is basically what I did was texture everything. I didn't get into animations, interactions too much yet, but I am working on that currently. This is pretty much the first rough copy of everything. So let's begin. Okay, so this is our scene. Hallway looks a little bit large. Don't always believe what you see. Excuse me. This is the avatar I used. I borrowed him from a previous school project, and the reason I did it that way is so that I could have something to test animations, interactions, etc. with, and character movement. I do have an avatar that I would like to use, and I will hopefully have him imported by the end of this. Okay, so this is the main area, the lobby. This is where the game begins. All you're going to be doing here is going down the hallway over to that desk on the left-hand side. You're going to be approaching the concierge. The mission statement is going to tell you what to do when you pass through the volume. It'll tell you this is your objective and go do that. You pick up the map. You see a text bubble. Tells you where to go. And we're going to actually take you down there now, but I'm just going to show you the textures as we go first. I'm going to try and go slow. So, gold floor, black brick wall, couches. I added some couch prefabs, as you can see. Black ceiling, nothing too crazy. Now, it's going to mention the door on the right. It's not the red door. The red door and the green doors actually don't do anything. They don't even open. But they are acknowledged in the game. If you go up to them, I believe one of them says closed for maintenance, and I believe the other one is you don't have clearance to enter this door, something like that. I do plan on actually adding things to those doors. More content, extra things, but that's a future project, and I'm not putting it off, but I want to work on the main puzzles first. So once those get finished after the main puzzles are done, I will be sure to let everyone know so that they can try it out. So this is the map, that thing with the white light bulb there. It's not going to look like that in game mode, I promise you. It just looks like a glowing pickup. And that's the concierge, and he stands not like that. He stands straight. So it doesn't look like that. This is just the pause menu, the scene mode when you can edit, change things. And this is our main door, our do not enter door. I left the description on how to play the game in the description obviously below, so you guys can take a look at that after if you'd like. And this is the first room. This is the garden. This is where the game actually begins. Didn't go too crazy texturing. I did a potted plant. I did a few tree prefabs. I used a terrain tool to add some grass, greenhouse wall. That door on the right with the blue arch, that's the door to the Egypt room, which is our second room. Basically, to get in there, you enter a key code, and that is the first puzzle of this room. Spoiler alert. I'm not going to tell you, obviously, what that key code is or how to find it. I'm going to leave that to the gamer. But I will give you one thing. When you enter this room, and every room except for the lobby and do not enter, you are going to have to listen to the recordings. And the reason I say that, it's mentioned, obviously, in the message volume over there, too. Listen to the recording. But there's one in every room, so this is where the first one is and will always be. You interact with them, and they give you a hint on how to solve each room. So, with that being said, let's move on. Let's get around that tree, it's in the way. So, this is to the Egypt room. Egypt room, here we are. This one, very simple. I did a sand texture for the floor. I modified the terrain tool so I could add a couple of little hills, because if you've played in a sandbox or gone to the beach, anywhere with sand, basically, you know that it's not a super flat world all the way throughout. There is little bumps, there's little hills, so I tried to make it look a little bit realistic in that sense. The second recording is over there by the door, but I'm probably going to move that. And that is the last recording I placed, because I haven't made those yet. I just created the recording to get a general idea of what it will look like when you approach it. So this is hieroglyphics for the wall. I didn't go too crazy there. I just wanted it to look nice and realistic, once again. So this door leads to the armory, and this is actually a dual animation door. That gold ball, when you animate with it, when you clear the objective, of course, will actually rotate almost like you're opening a vault, and the door opens at the same time. And when the door gets to the final point of open, the ball moves in the opposite direction really quickly. It's hard to explain. It looks cool, and I wish I could show you guys that, but I can't without giving away the keypad code from the Egypt room. So I'm not going to do that yet, but it's going to look cool, I promise. I've tested it a few times, and it works like a charm. This is the armory, which is our third room of the puzzle. Small room. It's not large at all, actually. I'm going into the Egypt room as I say that. It's not large at all. This is a very, very simple room. I didn't go too crazy. I'm going to add some objects and furniture. Now, I've warned you, none of the other rooms have any objects and furniture yet, but they will. So, red and green wallpaper there, because our next room is the Christmas room. I could have thought of a better name, but obviously I wanted to get it made, and I like that name. Okay. So the only animation I can show you guys, and this is more of a particle effect that I made, this is the snowfall that I made myself. I picked up a snowflake image online, made it into a particle system, and have it look like there's snow falling on the ground. It's very bright, so you might not be able to see, but there is a snow texture for the ground, and a wallpaper, Christmassy type for the wall. Going through all the snow, we'll find the door to room number 5, which is our penthouse apartment. Basically, I wanted to do almost like a quiet, intimate setting. Orange rug, burgundy wall. That black ceiling's the same, universal. It's that way throughout the entire game. It would take me a lot longer to make individual ceilings. I don't mind doing that, but the way I see it is that black ceiling actually works very well for all of the rooms I've done. Now, this animation here, again, this one works, as does the penthouse door that I just showed you. All the animations that I have made so far, as I've mentioned before, work. But this one, well, it's a little bit rugged, so I'm probably going to have to touch that up, because I want it to obviously look as best as I can do. So, it does work, though, at least. This is the convenience store. There's going to be a clerk in here, almost like in the lobby that there was a clerk that animates. I'm going to have something like that in here too. A couple of little stands, maybe a kiosk, but there's going to be some cool stuff in here, and I'm going to warn you guys now, the next room is really not textured, and I'm going to explain that in a moment. This is the bowling alley. It's coming up. Okay, so the bowling alley, this is one of my favorite rooms, believe it or not, even though it's not textured yet. I have a vision of how it's going to look. And the reason that I did the walls and not the floor is because the walls are going to look the same no matter what. But the floor, I am still deciding on whether or not I'm going to be using an asset package, or I'm going to just texture the floor and find what I can to make it look nice. So I'm trying to still figure that out. But obviously I'm going to save this room till the very end, because either way, I don't want to have the whole thing textured then have to go back and change it. I'd rather honestly just texture it afterwards if I need to. It won't take me long, but getting rid of it is a pain. So this door leads you to room number 8, which is the gallery. And the gallery is textured. We're all back to that now. Paintings I tried to do as best as I could, almost like you're in a museum. Gallery, museum, potato, potato. Now, they all look different. The lighting on this one looks different from that, but almost like you're going through different hallways and exhibits. That's what I tried to really have as the inspiration for this room. I tried to do a museum-ish carpet. The way this actually looks pretty cool, because you see the arches right there in front of these two walls directly in front of me. Almost look like they're showcasing that, which I like. There is no door here, I'm sure you've noticed by now, and the reason for that is because I was figuring that the puzzle for this room would be either you need to make your own door to move through, or there's going to be something blocking you. Obviously, you can't just walk right through. You're either going to have to make your own door, or the puzzle will basically open it for you. There's going to be something blocking you here. You can't just walk right through. That'd be much, much too easy. Either that, or I'm going to have these two rooms be a joint room. Either way, I have not decided yet, but most likely the first one. And this is the office, room number 9. And what's funny is when I googled the idea for the wallpaper here, this is actually fun time in the office. So this is the fun office. This little purple thing there at the very end, that little blemish, pretty much you're going to be solving a puzzle that requires you to destroy that piece of wall and make a doorway. Because obviously you can't walk through the wall, or can you? And our last room to solve, anyway, this is the bar. This is the very, very end. After a hard day at the office, you go to the bar, in most cases, right? You don't have to drink, you can just go there and have fun. But the bar will actually not take me long at all to make, and now this little red piece, that's basically going to be an invisible wall. And what I'm trying to do for that, it's almost like when you solve it, if anybody's ever played Super Mario 64, how you can jump into the paintings, I want to put a painting there and almost have you jump into it, sort of like you're going into the end of the game. This is the cave, and this is where the treasure is going to be. So if you solve the puzzle within the 30-minute time limit, all of the puzzles anyway, you win, you get the treasure. If you don't, you can still get here, but the treasure chest will be empty, and it'll either say, you failed, game over, or there will be some kind of cool cutscene that I'll do. Either way, that's how the ending is going to go. Either you solve it in the time limit, or you don't. Okay, so that is the end of the texturing stage. Now, I'm leaving you guys in suspense as far as I'll leave it in here for the snow. As far as the finished furniture and puzzles and everything else. I'm not going to show you guys a run-through of it because I would like you guys to try and play it. But it's going to look really, really nice when it's done. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or ask me directly. Alright, enjoy guys.